I'm really happy that now Academy has come forward to fund our proposal. Nowadays, we know very well that academies are having funding problem. In spite of that, the merit of the subject earned this grant to conduct this one. It's also Pondicherry University is a very well-known university where a lot of people have sprung up in occupying various good positions, and they originally whenever I visit this place, I've seen that a lot of people clear the NET exam and they become faculty members elsewhere. So it's a good place where we can organize such meetings so that the importance of metal ions in biological systems is spread out. So that is the very basis why the meeting was, why this lecture workshop is conducted here. All the academies, in fact, they try to recognize people who make very good contributions to science, innovative contributions to science, and particularly Indian Academy of Sciences is a competitive place where young people compete for the fellowship so that they can get elected, they can get Butner Prize or Swarna Jayanti like that. So this is very important that the Academy recognizes the contributions of faculty members. And again, you should know that nowadays youngsters are recognized as associates. And in fact, Professor Gundu here, I think he is an associate of the Indian Academy of Sciences. That will also focus upon the development of students and how they should learn, what they should learn like that. So in that way, all the academies are doing a very great job, particularly also for the women folk. They are having different programs, and in all their meetings, students are also invited to take part. Like that, it's doing a onerous service to the upliftment of science in this country. So I think I should also make a note of this particular theme of this lecture workshop. As I said, we have spread out this particular concept in various institutes, and we continue to do that. And this is one particular recent, very recent lecture workshop we are organizing it here. I think the students, the younger students here, they can talk to the experts and get to know about the latest developments in the field, so that they will be excited. They can also work with the fellows. That is the motivation behind bringing even very young people here to talk to you about their own discoveries. So we have requested them to talk about fundamentals and then go up to their explaining what they are trying to do. So in a way, it is a good interaction. More than the lectures, I think the students should interact with the experts so that they would appreciate the type of work going on around in this particular field in India. I think I should also congratulate the students who have been selected to participate in this meeting, and I believe the students would make use of this particular opportunity. I should also thank the department, also the Vice Chancellor, for giving us this opportunity to organize this particular lecture workshop in Pondicherry University. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Next, I would like to invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Prakash Babu, to share a few words and encourage our students.
Very good morning, all of you. The guests sitting on the dais, the convener of the program, Professor Palindware, Coordinator Professor Shivshankar, and the distinguished speakers invited for this particular program, chemistry faculty colleagues, and also of course Earth Sciences, Professor Botany is here, and other student participants, research scholars, and other invitees and dignitaries. It's a pleasure to be part of this lecture workshop entitled Recent Advances in Metal Ions in Biological Systems. I congratulate the convener and also the coordinator for having chosen this as the very good theme, and also very relevant, and also especially I thank the convener to choosing Pondicherry University as the venue to organize this particular workshop. And also I congratulate and the coordinator Professor Shivashankar and also his colleagues who are actually behind him. So because when today's program is when they are doing it, this must have been started few months back, or I think I was told it's a couple of years back. So it always requires a lot of constant follow-up and work for these particular things. So when this title is actually really interesting, because some part also belongs to me. When you say the biology, so I have some right to talk certain things. So that's why I also felt that it's a very interesting topic made it. It's a chemistry and biology. They both are actually, it may appear as a distinct disciplines, but the metal ions are we call it as the connecting link or a bridge between the biology and the chemistry. This is what actually today this workshop is going to discuss on. So some of the elements, like as Professor Shivashankar also mentioned about that, iron, zinc, copper, magnesium, calcium, manganese, cobalt, and also boron. So as he mentioned that I think there is a speaker also going to speak. They are all the fundamentals to the life. So without that, I think life would have been not existed at all. So they participate especially in the enzyme catalysis. So without that, no biological system will work actually. And also they works in the electron transport, oxygen transport, and cellular signaling, which is very much essential thing that nobody, it happens at the intracellular and also the intercellular signaling pathways. Without these metal ions, it's not possible. That is very much important. So actually they play an important role in the cellular homeostasis. Cellular homeostasis is very much essential. It's a kind of a balance with the cell survival and cell death requires a cellular homeostasis. That these metal ions or the micronutrients, they play a critical role in this. In other words, we can say that life is not merely carbon based. It's also a profoundly depend on the precise chemistry of the metals. So when we go back to some of the histories and all, it's a fascinating, it's a fine balance between the necessity and the toxicity. So necessity and the toxicity, the same metal ion, which is very much essential and required, plays a crucial role when it tilts the balance that is going to be a toxic. So that is a very important thing. So iron is actually indispensable. As you know, the hemoglobin is required where the oxygen transport plays an important role and essential. However, this also, when this dysregulates, that also causes the toxicity. It's called as the oxidative stress it causes, and also iron toxicity, you can call it as. That leads to it's called as, a new term has come up, it's like as I think most of you must be familiar with the apoptosis. It's a cell death. But here, this is called as the ferroptosis, when the ferrous is involved in the stress that is leading to the cellular demise. So that's where it is also important. So similarly, copper or zinc ions are essential for the numerical biological functions, while their imbalance will always be, consequence will be very dangerous, very deleterious. So it's let us go back to why the India is known for the Ayurveda and Siddha. Ayurveda and Siddha, people always say that okay, these are the things that, but at the same time the Western world or the another world is not accepting the Ayurveda formulations developed in India, because largely they feel that the Ayurveda has some part of the inorganic metals. Metal ions are there. They say it's called as the basma, right? Basma, they say that it's heavy metal toxicity, it's called as the Rasa Shastra, where the basma is actually included. So they say that when the metals are actually bond, they bond at a higher degrees temperature, and they say that it will become a basm and it will not have any toxicity. But metal ions are metal ions, they will not disappear. So they will be there, but they may change its form. Form may change, but metal ions are existing. So when these are all accumulated, so then it's not a good sign. I can tell you one incident that happened in my university. One student he is doing a PhD, research scholar. He is a well-built, very young and very active. He was suddenly collapsed and admitted in the hospital. So then the doctors, they could not find anything. Everything is fine, absolutely he is fine. He went to the gym, he goes to gym regularly, and after gym coming back he was collapsed. So then when he went to the hospital, they did lot of tests and nothing has been revealed. But finally he died of the multi-organ failure. So nobody knows that his ailment. So then what we have done, his room was locked. Then we went and break open the door and we saw that there are so many Ayurvedic bottles are available there, empty bottles are there. That means he is regularly consuming the medicine, this Ayurveda medicine. So these things has to be consumed under the surveillance of a doctor. So if you think that that is good, you cannot keep on eating that one regularly. That's what it has. So metal ion, it's a metal toxicity. Precisely what has happened is it has damaged the kidneys because of the metal toxicity. They are all accumulated. Once they are accumulated, filtration mechanism stops. Once the filtration stops, that causes the multi-organ failure. This is what happens. So Ayurveda medicines are good, but formulations we have to be cautious. So that's why recently we are also having the MOU with the Ayurveda Medical College from Chennai. They have come and had a MOU with the School of Chemistry, and see what they need is the how much is toxicity. That is important. So they are all useful, but how much is useful and how much will be toxicity. These are all the things. You say lack of, it's called as the proof of concept in biology. Proof of concept is essential to prove that yes, this is first thing. Any drug when we produce, it should not have any toxicity. First condition, it should not have any toxicity for the normal cells. Then it should work for whatever it is meant for. So there we are failing it. So that's why this actually it's very important for both fundamental biology and also the medicine. Now this is another important area that is emerging. So that's what we have to keep asking the deeper questions on this. How are metal ions transported and compartmentalized in the cells? Still it is a question mark. And also how do they regulate the signaling pathways? So as I said that boron is the very essential. Now boron is being used as the radioactive boron is being used as the anti-cancerous agent. So what they are doing is they accumulate in the cell, they destroy the cell. So it says that but it will not have any impact on the cells, but what is going to happen with the boron once the cell is died? So these are all some of the questions that has to be addressed. How the metalloproteins function in the molecular level. So these metalloproteins are essential where the proteins are actually with the ionic metals. But there is a metallomatic proteins are there. So they are also actually they are highly dangerous. That is what they do is they dissolve the matrix, they promote the cancer cells to migrate. So these are all these. So we have to really work on this one, and they are also very much important in neurological diseases. So when we say that one, these are the metals, there are so many studies that these metals actually, what they do is they deposit it actually, they deposit in the circulation, they cannot be washed out as freely as possible. By any chance, if it enters into the brain, because they can damage the blood-brain barrier when they are accumulated in the higher concentrations. They deposit. Once they are deposited, that's the reason for the Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, and so many dementias are there. So these are all some of the important things so to be addressed before finding its beneficial effects and also the toxic effects. So therefore, the areas such as the metallomics, bioorganic chemistry, metal-based therapeutics, nanobiotechnology, metal responsive imaging are opening exciting possibilities for the students and the researchers to put their hands on it. So as you know that I am a neuroscience person, it's a metal ions particularly they are a fascinating field for the brain because their tightly regulated concentration is required for the neurotransmission. So to work the brain and the neurotransmitters and neurosignaling should work, the metal ions are very much essential. However, they are also essential, not only essential for the neural survival, but also they are the deleterious for the neurodegenerative diseases. So therefore, the disturbances in metal homeostasis has been investigated for, they are responsible for the many neurodegenerative diseases and also neurological disorders. Some of the neurological and neurodegenerative diseases are untreatable. Only you can extend the lifespan or the symptoms can be postponed, but you cannot treat it. So that is the benchmark as of now. So this is the wonderful area where it has the potential for the interdisciplinary research, where the subject naturally brings together the chemistry, biochemistry, biology, medicinal pharmacology, material science, and also the computational approach. So the modern scientific problems are actually precisely lie at the boundaries between the interdisciplines. Now these disciplines are actually converging, which is very much essential. So the workshops, such a kind of workshops are actually create a kind of environment where the chemist can interact with the biologists, clinicians, biochemists, especially the young researchers, where as the guest indicated, the students. So you have to really, they don't think this is a workshop that you have to sit and listen. So these workshops are actually very much essential where you can interact. So these lectures, even if you open YouTube, you can also see that one. But the offline mode of the attending the workshops or the conferences, beauty of it is you can straight away interact with the speaker. So by looking at the speaker, interacting with the speaker, actually it opens up the lot of ideas where you can do the research. It's a participation of the research scholars and students is very important, and it is a, don't look at the workshop as the workshop. It's not a series of lectures. You ask the questions, challenge the established ideas, interact with the experts, and also identify unanswered scientific problems that you have to make it. So then you will become a better researcher. So now the India has the tradition of the chemistry, biology, and also biomedical sciences, where so it's a platform has been created by the Indian Science Academies. So they are doing it in a religiously, every university, every program, very frequently in different subjects. So which is a very much essential. And really I thank the Academy of Sciences, Indian Academy of Sciences for this one, for making this as a, which can combines the focus on the fundamental understanding the translational potential of these challenges relevant to the Indian society at present. And also this also actually the new education policy or national education policy 2020, and also it speaks about the interdisciplinary areas. So this strongly advocates the emphasis on the multidisciplinary education, research and the innovation, which is actually part of this particular program goes on. And also the Viksit Bharat 2047, which needs a strong foundation in frontiers in the science and also the culture that encourages the curiosity-driven research, which is an essential thing. And also the discoveries areas such as the bio and organic chemistry may eventually contribute to a new drugs, diagnostic technologies, biomaterials, and also the personalized medicine. So finally, let me congratulate once again the organizers and also the School of Chemistry, which is actually Department of Chemistry, which is actually the part of this particular program. I congratulate each one of you, and also I congratulate the students, especially those who are coming forward, have registered, wanted to be part of this program. I also thank the convener and co-convener for this particular program, and I wish such a program should go many more in this university at every department. So I am delighted to inaugurate this program and the workshop on the recent advances in the metal ions and also the biological system. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. It's a fascinating field. I wish I should continue to listen to your lectures. But since I have to attend a lot of things, I may not be able to do it. But once again, I thank you for inviting me and congratulate once again the program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. I would like to thank our Vice Chancellor for inaugurating this lecture workshop. Whenever we ask him, always is ready to help us in all aspects. So really, I want to thank you, sir, for all your kind support. And also I would like to thank our convener, Professor M. Pallinanduvar, for being with us, and also he is the reason for conducting this workshop in our campus. Sir is known to me for a few decades. Actually, when I was a scholar in IIC Bangalore, that time sir used to come to IPC department and meet my supervisor and other colleagues. So that time onwards I knew him, and also he was my colleague before and now I'm joining with him and conducting this workshop. Sir, thank you for this opportunity. And also I would like to thank my colleagues. They are the backbone, and they are all supporting me to conduct this workshop. So I thank you one and all for coming over here and joining for this workshop.